Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. If you like what you see today, feel free to give a like to the video and maybe even consider subscribing. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the so-called endgame of Guild Wars 2 and give a little bit more of a background to me in this game. So I'm Ruby Burrito. I have been playing this game since launch, and if I go and show my age, do /age the command in chat, it shows that I have just under 3,500 hours played. Now, that's a pretty good amount of time. And to some veterans, it's not a lot, but all things considered, in about 10 years, that's quite a bit of time. I have played over 400 hours on this character, which I made when I played just after the Heart of Thorns launch. I think I have 800 hours on another character, so I've played quite a bit on several of the professions. Currently, in the background, you'll see content of World v. World, which is one of the ways that you can spend your time in the quote-unquote endgame of Guild Wars 2. If you are new to the MMO, if you're coming from a different MMO, you might be wondering what the endgame looks like, because endgame in all different MMOs is different. So in some it's raiding, in some it's gear grinding until you get the best gear in the game. It all depends on how the developers intended it to be. For Guild Wars, it pretty much just wants you to have fun. So there's three main types of content. You're looking at PvE, PvP, and World v. World. As I said earlier, the background is showing World v. World, which is a server v server v server PvP game type that allows you to have massive battles of 50 plus people against 50 plus people, and if you're even lucky enough to have a three-way 50-man squad fight, it can get pretty intense. PvP is 5v5. PvE can be huge squads as well, but you're typically, you're going to be playing against an AI mob. I do have a video that highlights a lot of the intro to World v. World stuff that came out recently. If you're curious about how World v. World works, I cover a lot of the basics there. Feel free to check that out. Otherwise, I'm not going to get too into depth here because that's not the purpose of the video. World v. World can be good for a couple of things. Specifically, if you go to the reward tracks, there is the Gift of Battle reward track, which you can see here. The Gift of Battle reward track, once you complete it, as it sounds, it gives you a Gift of Battle. Gifts of Battle are what allow you to craft legendary weapons. Legendary weapons are stat selectable. They are, I believe now that the armory, the legendary armory is here, you can transmute them however you want without using transmutation charges. I can put, if I go to this character's equipment, you can see at the top, this is one of the legendaries that I have. It's the legendary Gen 2 Greatsword, and I can put that on any character on the account. And even though I only have one of them, I only crafted one of them, I can have it on as many characters as I want at any time. That is one of the beautiful things of the legendary armory. That legendary equipment is typically what people look at for endgame in Guild Wars 2. Unless you love World v. World or PvP, or I guess raiding. Raiding can be endgame content. It's pretty much just legendary gear. To get the legendary weapons, both Gen 1 and now Gen 3 can be bought on the trading post. Gen 2 has to be crafted. You can craft any of them, and they vary in how expensive they are and what you need to do to get them. The the armor requires you to do raiding, or World v World, or PvP. There are 3 sets. The only one that has a unique skin is going to be the raiding World PvE one. There are legendary back items that you can get from a whole bunch of different things, whether it's fractals, World v World, PvP, etc. Then there are accessories, amulets, rings. There's a World v World legendary ring. There's a PvP legendary ring. There's a reward for a set of achievements if you go to side stories. And then all of these most of those build into the, where is it? Oh, it's just under current events. My apologies. The Seasons of the Dragons. That's what I was looking for. I am almost 2/3 of the way through to getting a legendary amulet. And that is the same concept. It's stat selectable. It's able to go on every single character. And that's why that's typically the goal for endgame content. So one of the things that I am working on, and I do have some videos that are addressing this, is I'm working on crafting every single Gen 1 legendary at once. To do that, I had to do a ton of World v World. I've played plenty of PvP. I've played lots of PvE, primarily PvE. And it's allowed me to explore different parts of the game that I might not have spent as much time doing. So whether it's playing countless hours of World v World to try to get to level 10,000, whether it's queuing up for tons of PvP games, or trying your hand at raiding and finding a raiding guild, the best thing to do once you start playing Guild Wars is to try to find an active guild. For World v World, you probably should find one that's on your server. For PvP and for PvE, you can find people anywhere, honestly. Now that they've had this for a long time, but they have merged servers. So you can play with anyone anywhere, as long as they're, I believe, NA, EU are separated. But for the most part, you can play with anyone just about anywhere. So having resources, having people to ask questions. I have my chat hidden, but almost constantly there's people asking questions about how to do this, or is somebody free to do that. It allows you to learn more about the game, explore parts of the game that you might not get to otherwise, and try your hand at endgame content. Achievement points are also huge. I feel like a lot of people don't really pay much attention to achievement points in this game. At least not enough, in my opinion. There is thousands of hours of content if you just go achievement hunting. I have actually been looking at doing some of it, and I've spent tens, if not hundreds of hours at this point trying to do achievement hunting. And Guild Wars 2 efficiency is one of the ways that I keep track of it and how I decide kind of what I want to work on next. But the whole point of endgame content is to give you something to do after you've done the story. And achievements are amazing for that. I have 21,000 achievement points. If you take out the 5,600, or I guess the 6,200, sorry, 6,400 from dailies and monthlies, oh, we're gonna die. I still have 1,500 from just regular achievements. Just doing something in the game, getting that unlocked, instead of doing, because a lot of people will have achievements from monthly and dailies from the now 10 years that it's been going. You can get 10 achievement points a day now, but, and the monthlies are canceled. I mean, they've been taken out of the game. But a lot of people have that maxed out, so their achievement points are high. But to get to that point, it requires a lot of dedication and a lot of playtime. And in my mind, that's one of the better things about the game, is that achievement hunting is pretty straightforward if you're looking at endgame content. And if you want every achievement in the game, you have to do raiding, you have to do World v World, you have to do all of these other things that are considered endgame content. I mean, you also could consider getting every legendary part of that, because there's collections. So there's a lot to do. I know a lot of veterans in the game may not feel the same way, but there are thousands of hours of things to do if you want to do them. I think that'll be it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. If you see me in game, feel free to say hi. Otherwise, if you're feeling generous, give a like and subscribe, and we'll hopefully see you in the next one.